Used when high levels of response and feeling are desirable. Toyota Tacoma ECT power button revisit. Let's go for a ride. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. That's right. Today we're going to revisit the Tacoma ECT power button. You know, I get a lot of flack on the channel when I've talked about that button before because, frankly, I never noticed a thing with it other than it might have held the gears a little bit longer, which I think is really its purpose. But a lot of people get on here and say, oh, it gives you so much power. I didn't notice that. But maybe I just wasn't paying attention. You know, somebody accused me of not paying attention. They said that I was too focused on making the video. So maybe I just didn't notice the ECT power button effect. Well, I would think if it was that profound, I would have noticed. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This time I'm going to put the camera up on the dash. We're going to drive just a second or three with normal power, no ECT power button on in the Tacoma. And then we're going to push that button. And we're going to see if it throws me back in the seat. I don't know. I have my doubts. Let's go. Okay, we're backed out of the garage. But before we get going, I thought it would be beneficial to tell you what Toyota says the ECT power button is. Now, first of all, they don't even call it that. They call it the power mode. So you go to selecting power mode in the manual, page number 211 in my manual, and it says, use when high levels of response and feeling are desirable, such as when driving in mountainous regions or when pulling a trailer. Press the ECT power button to select power mode. The ECT power indicator comes on. Press the button again to cancel. Now, if you didn't know where it's located, let me show you that real quick, just so everybody knows. All right, we've been out driving around for a little bit, just kind of getting the feel of the Tacoma without this infamous ECT power button engaged. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off. No, it's not going to be a drag race, not going to be a 0 to 60 today, but we're going to just take off and drive. Then I'm going to hit the button while I'm driving. I want to see if anything changes. Matter of fact, before I even do that, at a stop, which you can see I'm not moving, I'm going to go ahead and push the button and see if the RPM gauge changes at all. Does it affect the idle? You might even be able to hear the exhaust note change since I do have a louder exhaust on here. Let's check it out. Here we go. Okay, ECT power button is engaged. The arm for the RPMs did nothing. It's the same as it was before. So I'm going to turn it off. Still nothing. Nothing changes. Okay, we're going to take off driving. I'm going to hit the button. I'm going to see. Here we go. I'm not going fast. I'm just normal takeoff, normal driving. So we're at, I don't know, 15 mile an hour. Let's push the button. Okay, I have engaged the button. We have pushed the button. We're just driving. I'm going to make this turn, get around this vehicle here, and I'm going to turn it off. I just want to see if it changes while I'm driving. We're at 23 miles an hour now. Here we go. I do think I felt a little bit of a reduction in power, like it kind of a little bit. Best way I can describe it. It's off right now. We're going to make a turn, again, just going normal speeds. We're going to get out in higher speeds in just a second. But I'm accelerating. We'll get up to 30. Right there. Now I'm just driving along. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button, paying particular attention to what happens. Here we go. I didn't notice a thing. Not a thing. 36 miles an hour now. 35. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Might have just been in my head when I thought I felt that in power. Maybe it was right at a shift. That's probably what happened, because right there I didn't notice anything at all. Now we're going to get up to a stop. I'm going to leave the ECT on. I actually have to turn it on. There we go. It's on now. I'm going to take off in this turn. Again, paying particular attention to whether or not I notice anything unusual. Here we go. Not the same. It does hold the gears longer. I can tell that already. You might be able, I'm sure you could hear it in the exhaust. But it does seem to hold the gears a little bit longer. But that's probably about it. I don't know that I really noticed any huge increase in power. Although I will say, and this is probably the placebo effect, it does feel more powerful right now, if that makes any sense. Again, to the nth degree. It's not like it became a drag strip car or something, but it just feels a little bit stronger, if that makes any sense. I'm going to slow down to about 45-ish, and then we're going to nail the gas a bit and see. We're still with the ECT power button engaged. Here we go. Definitely seem to hold the gas a little bit longer, the gear, if you will. So now I'm going to turn it off, and you guys can hear this, and I think this is a good thing about having this exhaust on here. You guys can hear it in the exhaust when it shifts and what it's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it off. Again, no noticeable increase. I'm going to hit it one more time. I want to see if the RPMs change while I'm driving. I'm at 41 miles an hour. And I think I hit the gas. Let me do that again. Yeah, it did. It did seem to bump up the RPMs a bit. Not really noticeable so much, but okay, I'm going to turn it off. We're at 32 miles an hour. I'm going to get back up to 40, and then I'm going to nail the gas again like I just did. And we'll see how it sounds and how it shifts. We'll do that right now. I don't know, man. I don't really notice a big difference. This is off, by the way. It's not on. I didn't really notice a big difference. I am curious about those RPMs, though. So as soon as we get over this hump in the road and this light, I'm going to go ahead and hit that button again, trying to not press any harder on the accelerator. We're at 44 miles an hour. I'm just cruising. Let's push the button, see if the RPMs jump. Definitely jumped. There's no question in my mind. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to turn it off. About 42 miles an hour. It just downshifted. Trying to keep it steady. Here we go. Oh, for sure. Definitely jumps up the RPMs. I don't really feel it in the truck. You guys can hear the exhaust. So if there was a sudden increase in gas or power, you would hear it through the exhaust. I didn't. I'm going to turn it off. I want to see if it drops. We're at 39. We shifted. So it did drop probably, I don't know, a couple thousand RPM, something like that. Or not a couple thousand, maybe a couple, 300-400. Let's go ahead and hit it again. We're at 37 miles an hour. Oh yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does pump up the RPM reading, at least, when you hit that ECT power button on. So, I don't know. You know, just driving around with it on, man, I don't know. Maybe, you know, it says in the instructions that if you're hauling something or you're in mountainous regions, that's when you're going to feel it. And I think that's probably true. I think just driving on flat roads, which in this particular part of Texas where I am, it's all flat. We're in the valley here, in the Rio Grande Valley. It's pretty flat, so I don't really have any hills to climb to test that out. But I would say that I could see it as beneficial if you were towing something and needed that extra oomph, if you will, or going up mountains where you wanted to hold the gear a little bit longer so you didn't get halfway up, have it shifted to a lower gear, and then be like, come on, man. So I could see it being beneficial there. As far as turning it into some sort of hyper race car, I mean, come on. I'm not feeling that. I had said before I didn't feel that. And if it does do anything, man, it is so small or insignificant that I'm not even sure I could really feel anything. Again, I had mentioned early in the video that it felt like when I turned it off, the power may have dropped a little bit. I really think I was just at a shift point because I haven't been able to duplicate that. But the one thing I have been able to duplicate is an increase in RPMs when I actually go ahead and engage the ECT power button. So my final thoughts, I think the folks out there that have said that it makes a big difference it's either just in their head, again, the placebo effect, or they're in a mountainous region where it's supposed to be to work, and then maybe they're feeling something there. I can see that, or even in towing. But normal driving on flat surfaces, low speed, high speed, I just don't feel any difference. The only way that I've been able to get anything more out of my Toyota Tacoma is with the Sprint booster to eliminate the lag. That makes it feel quicker and allows you to utilize the power that the Tacoma engine has. So anyway, that's my Toyota Tacoma ECT power button revisit. I really don't feel any more differently about it than I did in the beginning. Leave a comment, let me know. I'm going to turn it off now, because the one thing that it does probably do is burn more gas. So leave a comment, let me know. Again, pay close attention when you're using it. Is it in your head, or do you really feel like it makes a difference? I'm really curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators, and RobMotive MT, all about mini trucks. Currently, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.